Hey Pokemon Masters, Birdkeeper Toby here, and I'm about to make a video that I made and that you never saw around about a year ago. Yes, a year ago when Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had just been announced, but right before they were announced, I was expecting different games. Some sort of Kanto revisit, and suddenly, it looks like we're gonna get that with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Those being the rumored, although maybe by the time this video comes out, confirmed names of the new games. And boy, oh boy, wow, okay. So I made this video like a year ago, talking about all the things I'd love to see what I'd expect if we have a Kanto revisit. And here we are a year later, after I've deleted that video, which I could have just re-uploaded now. Of course, I'd look totally different. And yeah, I want to reinvestigate some of those ideas. So here it is, the video you never saw. 10 things you should expect from Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. Also, just a quick reminder, the dates are in the comments and in the description. I'm going to be out in America in the month of June. I want to meet as many of you as possible. I'm going to be visiting the West Coast, sorry, East Coasters, maybe next year. And of course, that information is below. And also, make sure you've got the notification bell hit because, I want to make sure that these videos are getting out to people. The notification bell, super important. I only upload twice a week, maybe 3 times if I'm going to do a bonus video. Certainly not going to be spamming that sub box, so please make sure you hit that notification button. The bell. Anyway, here we go. 10 things. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. Now, number 1, if we're revisiting Kanto, is a really obvious one. Evolutions to Kanto Pokemon in the story. This is to say that the Kanto Dex is about to get a lot bigger, especially with a title like Let's Go Eevee. Eevee does not just have 3 evolutions anymore. Now, when Leaf Green and Fire Red came out, the only evolutions of Eevee that weren't from Kanto were Espeon and Umbreon. And do you know how they integrated that? They removed your ability to evolve an Eevee into an Espeon and Umbreon in Leaf Green and Fire Red, so you had to get them from Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, or Pokemon Colosseum most likely. Except there's a lot more now than just Espeon and Umbreon. No, there's Leafeon and Glaceon and Sylveon, Electivire, Magmortar, Rhyperior, Tangrowth, the list goes on. There are a lot of Kanto Pokemon that evolved in later generations, as well as baby Pokemon with like Pichu and Cleffa and Igglybuff. If we are revisiting Kanto and trying to get the Pokemon Go audience interested in the rest of the Pokemon world, it might be nice to help them dip their toe in the water. If they see their original 151 Pokemon with their newer evolutions, put them in a mindset where they're ready to then go on to Generation 8 and see even more Pokemon. And heck, even Pokemon Go has an expanded Pokedex now from just the original 151. In fact, maybe that could even be the case. The Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu kind of share a Pokedex. But I digress, that one just seems like a no-brainer. Number 2 on this list, new characters from newer games now being in the Kanto region. For example, Lily and Galadion. Both of these characters, depending on whether you're playing the ending of Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, appear in or say that they're going to be in the Kanto region, or that's where they're traveling to. If this game is in the same timeline as the other Pokemon games, then it would be cool to see those characters now in the world of Alola. Perhaps they are your rivals even. Your rivals are the new Viridian City gym leaders, because let's face it, the evil team probably won't be Team Rocket if it is set in the timeline. Or if it is, it'll be some kind of like new Rocket, but they won't be in the Viridian City gym. Or heck, even Professor Willow. I was playing Pokemon Go the other day and Professor Willow talks about how he used to study under Professor Oak. In fact, Hybrid Hero did a whole theory video about this exact topic. So yeah, new characters in these games. Perhaps we'll even find out who Hal's father is. That was a mystery left over from Sun and Moon. Or we can work out where the player character from Sun and Moon, because they moved over from Kanto, maybe we see their house. Find out who the player character's father finally is. Lots of cool room for new exploration. And speaking of new, number 3, gym leaders and Elite Four members. As I previously mentioned, the Viridian City gym probably isn't going to be occupied by Giovanni in these games. In which case, the evil team, your rival, they'll probably be different, but certainly gym leaders. If this is set later on in a timeline, what's to say that Brock and Misty are still gym leaders and not Elite Four members? What if Lance is no longer an Elite Four member, but instead has been overthrown by some fairy type trainer? Remember, the 2 times that we visited Kanto so far, the fairy type hasn't been in it, but in Pokemon Go it's there. There's no reason to think that the fairy type won't be in this iteration of Kanto. For the first time, the dragons will no longer be the top dogs. Whoa, hang on. What if Lily, because she has Clefairy, what if she's the fairy type champion? Whoa. Number 4 is the changing of town, cities, and locations. You might remember that a couple of times I've mentioned on this channel that when the I Choose You movie came out, there was a map in Professor Oak's lab, and it resembles not a region of the Pokemon world, even though all the other maps do in that lab. No, this one represents the Kanto region of Japan, not to be mistaken with the Kanto region of Pokemon. It's the region of Japan, of course, that Kanto is based off of, and I hope I said that right, Kanto. Anyway, this kind of gives off the impression that there's 2 Kanto regions, and maybe this one, much like How I Choose You, the movie, is a reimagining of the initial episodes of the Pokemon TV show. Perhaps this Kanto is a reimagined Kanto in more closely related to the Kanto region of Japan. Towns and cities will look different. If it's later on in the same timeline, then Cinnabar Mansion and Cinnabar Island that burnt to a crisp in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, maybe that's been rebuilt into a new Aether Foundation type island. Maybe Lavender Town will no longer be known as the place that has the Ghost Tower. Maybe it'll just be the Radio Tower again. Or maybe there'll be remnants of the Radio Tower after the Ghost Pokemon took back over. There is lots of room to explore and change locations, and the big one that I hope comes back is number 5, the return of the Sevi Islands. Or we can just get to it and call them the Orange Islands already. I mean, Pokemon Ride, the move Surf, was basically built to represent Ash traveling around on Lapras's back in the Orange Islands, and in Fire Red and Leaf Green we got the Sevi Islands, a cool set of southern islands of the Kanto region. These tropical islands, clearly based off of the Orange Islands, gave way to so many more interesting Pokemon from other regions in the show. There were certain variants of Pokemon, like the Pinken Island Pink Pokemon, or the Crystal Onyx, the Valencia Island Pokemon with different patterns, kind of like Alolan forms. Heck, if they're going to have Alolan forms in this, which we don't know, but if they decide they want to keep those, this is the climate where you could do that. And actually also that would make sense with my Pokemon World map, which references the Sevi Islands and Alola being relatively close. It's like the climate is kind of the same. All in all, whether it has a post-game area or part of the main game, I do hope that these islands make a reappearance. Number 6 is new Pokemon, probably uncatchable. So these games are like half main series and half spin-off series as part of the Pokemon Go franchise. Certainly from everything we can tell about them. And some of the side games, like Pokemon Ranger that had the Manaphy Egg, or Pokemon XD the Gale of Darkness, have Pokemon from future generations, like Gale of Darkness having Munchlax and Barnsdall. Just neither of them were catchable. Given that Generation 8 is gotta be the game right around the corner after these games come out, it would definitely be cool to see some promo for future Pokemon games in these games, even if we can't catch what they have to offer. I certainly think Zeraora is likely to somehow be tied into these games in some way or another. Potentially it's catchable in these games as well, given that the new movie that's going to feature Zeraora has a big focus on that girl who has the Eevee on her head, which seems to be the case with these games. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. They're going to be like follow-ups of Yellow with Pokemon following you. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I'm thinking new Pokemon. Zeraora is definitely likely to be in it, but the other future Pokemon will possibly be there as promo, just to kind of get us hyped and ready for Generation 8. Next up, all starters are available. If this is some kind of also remake of Pokemon Yellow, well, the cool key thing about Pokemon Yellow is you could get Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, all 3 starters. And that's going to mean for a lot of players, they're going to want all 3 of those Pokemon on their team. And that's great, given that we're revisiting Kanto and there's only a limited amount of Pokemon to work with within that Pokedex, even with evolutions. A lot of people are just going to gravitate towards their starters, Pikachu and Eevee, the 3 starters, and then maybe like a Snorlax or a Lapras, a Pokemon that you have to encounter on the journey. But if they do the expanded Pokedex idea with all the evolutions, as well as like Electivire and Tangrowth and stuff, it's gonna make people want to select one of the 3, but the great thing is during the adventure, they can select all 3 if they want, just it's gonna take up half of their team slots. Either way, having all 3 starters in this game, especially because you're starting with Pikachu or Eevee, makes a lot of sense, and I hope the methods of getting them in the game are out the way. You have to go on a little mini quest or work really hard to get these Pokemon. Of course, you could just transfer them over from Pokemon Go, because it does look like there's going to be some level of Pokemon Go integration, which leads me on to number 8, a special Mew event, ideally a Mew truck event. So Pokemon Go integration has kind of been announced, talked about, rumored as well. And Pokemon Go is the only main series game currently where you can get hold of a Mew. I say main series, it's the only Pokemon game where you can get hold of a Mew and just own it. If you can transfer that to these new Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games, it would be really cool to see some kind of integrated Mew event. Perhaps you have to recapture Mew, just like you did with the PAL Park in Generation 4, having to recapture all the teams of Pokemon. Wouldn't it be cool to follow rumors of you've heard Mew has entered the game now, you've transferred it over from Pokemon Go, but you gotta do a little fetch quest, run around, try and find it, and the place you find it is the Vermilion City docks next to a truck. I just think that would be a cool little nod to a very popular rumor back in the day which told that you could get Mew under the truck in Vermilion City on Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Number 9, I'm really speeding through these as fast as I can. I don't really know why, I'm very excited about them. I'm very energetic about these games. Character customization. I mean, come on, character customization. It was a thing in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it was a thing in Sun and Moon, it started in X and Y. Actually, it started in Pokemon Battle Revolution, which was also a side game. And by the way, character customization, it's in Pokemon Go. Character customization has become a very fundamental part of the Pokemon game series. It helps people kind of put themselves onto their characters, stand in their shoes, whichever ones they like to wear, and travel the world looking the way they want to look with their Pikachu or Eevee on their shoulder. Character customization, it's gotta happen, and I could see that the Celadon department store is probably gonna have a whole nother floor for just character clothing items. Maybe even you could wear clothes referencing all the clothes from the series, like gym leader bits of apparel. And number 10, Pokemon Ride. This is already part of the leaks and the rumors that Pokemon Ride will be back and HMs are out, but just think about what that means. Victory Road in Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, Leaf Green, Fire Red required you to use Strength. A lot of areas required you to use Surf to get to. Now, while there are Pokemon rides that swap out for those pretty much one-to-one with Lapras and Machamp, there are also so many other Pokemon ride abilities and bits where like you would have to usually use HM. For example, Cut. You need Cut to get into the Vermilion City Gym, and there doesn't seem to be a Poke Ride that would currently work with that. That means we're gonna get different Poke Rides or a different Kanto landscape. Either way, that's gonna be a ton of fun. And I'm so glad, because Pokemon Ride is so much more intuitive than just HMs ever were. But I don't know, I guess we'll have to see what is actually confirmed. Let me know, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, what do you think? Is there anything in this list that you're like, oh my god, I love that idea? Is there any that you're like, Toby, you're off your rocker, that's absolutely terrible? Or ideas that you have for the series? I'm gonna be monitoring those comments very, very closely. Also, again, don't forget to check the comments, because I'm coming out to America very, very soon. All of my videos, they've been pre-filmed, so videos are gonna be coming out to you while I'm out there. But you're probably gonna wanna make sure you hit the notification bell to make sure that those videos are coming to you, and as always, soar high, Pokemon Masters.